Hey guys, what's up and welcome to the video. My name's Seb and today we'll be checking out Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief. This is a series review and I'm going to be doing a bit of a breakdown about what happens inside the story as well as my own personal opinions on it. Personally, as you go through this, there are two things that I think this really portrays, and that is it's a really good storytelling with lots of things explained in the right way, as well as also I think there's a bit of comedy in this as well, and it's really funny to see some stuff. Again, there's very light humor in this first episode because there's a lot of explaining to do and world building to do, but there are some hints here and there of going, oh yeah, I get it, I see what's going on here, and you'll get that as you watch this series. So if you do want to go check it out and then come back here, or if you haven't watched it and you're not sure about it, then watch this video and then maybe you might like it after watching this video. You might have it more explained to you, so then you'll be able to go, yeah, it's a series I think I want to watch. Anyway, let's get started with the video. Alright, so let's get started, and basically what I'll do to get started is I'm going to give you a bit of information about the episodes itself, so let's go. So we start off with Percy Jackson at a young age. He's in school and like every other normal child, however, he keeps seeing imaginary figures. He mentions that he keeps seeing these things and that the school tell him it's totally normal. Turns out the imaginary things he just keeps seeing are things that his mum told him when he was at a young age. No one wants to hang out with him until he meets Grover, his new best friend, but everything gets weird when his class enter a museum and a girl from his class called Nancy is bullying him. He uses some kind of Jedi Force powers from out of nowhere to make her land in the fountain. His teacher, Mrs. Dodds, then turns into a creature and asks, where is it? Percy, not knowing what the hell is happening, ends up with his pen turning into a sword that his teacher, Mr. Bruner, gave him, using it to kill her. However, afterwards, no one remembers whose Mrs. Dodds is, and everything gets a bit more confusing. And to be honest, like, this is my first kind of thing, like, I absolutely love this part. It's like, wait, what happens? And to be fair, what I really love about this first episode so far as we're going through it is the fact that everything is taken from Percy's perspective. Percy has no idea what's going on, and as he learns about everything in this first episode, so do we. We learn with Percy, which is why this episode is so good. There's a lot of lore that Percy has no clue about, and neither do we. So we look through this episode as if we are Percy himself, which is good, and that's a really good way of directing and to be able to storytell something in a story. To make sure the audience learn, then we learn along with the main character. So that is awesome, and I love how that all plays out. So yeah. Moving into the next scene, Percy is sent to the head's office and is removed from school because Grover said that Percy pushed Nancy Boba Fett into the fountain, and Percy got kicked out of school because of it. He goes home and meets Gabe, who is meant to be some kind of father-in-law who Percy doesn't get along with. He's losing at imaginary poker. I love the fact that Gabe plays this character, that his mum remarried to this particular character because it's meant to disguise Percy from all the monsters, because they're going to think he's got a father figure when actually his father is not Gabe. It's someone who's way more powerful that we're going to find out in a few moments' time. But honestly, he's great at playing an absolute, not quite a bad guy, just a really, really annoying guy. And yeah, and I just love how they've portrayed this character. They've done an excellent job. He walks into that room, boom. Why should I care about this character? And it's a good way of putting that in that situation. He only gets like a few minutes, but it's really good how they do that anyway. And then we properly meet Percy's mum. Percy tells his mum exactly what happened, and she's like, we need to go have mum talk now. You know, this was a really funny part for me in the episode, the fact that you have to have mum talk in a cabin next to the ocean or something. I'm like, why do we need to get on there to have mum talk? Why can't we just have it in the house? No, because it has to be in a plot for the story. And the whole reason before it does get explained in a few moments, but it's it does feel a bit weird why they're traveling somewhere just to have a private conversation. Why can't they have it at their house? I mean, we'll find out during the next bit, but yeah, it's a bit weird. But anyway, after having mum talk, we explained that his dad is a god and that he is a demigod. Grover appears with goat legs. Grover explains that he's a satyr. A satyr is a half man, half goat. He also mentions that he's also 24 years old. Grover explains that if he never got Percy kicked out of the school, he would never have survived the night. Also, he's Percy's protector. So yes, he's Percy's protector. He's 24 years old, and he actually looks quite young. So he looks like he matches up with Percy's age. So he's been kind of like disguising himself as someone who goes to school while being 24 years old. It's kind of a weird situation there, but anyway, that's how it all works. Anyway, moving on from that, and the only thing that questions me at this point, as I was watching, was going, is a satyr, do satyrs look young and they're actually older? I'm not too sure. But, age. Anyway, moving on. Also, I should mention that when they drive away, they get attacked by a Minotaur as they take Percy to camp. The camp is protected by the mist. The mist is a veil that hides all the magical world from the human's world, Grover's legs, Dodd's wings, and even Dodd's absence. Grover explains that it's not supposed to hide stuff from him, but this time it did, which is why something weird is going on. The camp is a sanctuary for half-bloods and demigods, a space where they can learn about themselves and no monsters can cross it, but also no humans can enter it either, so Percy and his mum have to split up. Okay, so here's the one thing, I feel like that should have been mentioned a bit more earlier on, the splitting up between Percy and his mum. Maybe that should have been explained in the car, because yes, I can see why they left it to then, because, that triggers what's going to happen next. But I feel like, why is that not the most important thing to let Percy know that him and his mum are going to be splitting up when they get to the camp area? That should be possibly one of the most important things that Percy should have known out of the get-go. But they've let it all out for a particular reason, and let's see why. His mum, not being able to enter the camp, grabs his coat because the Minotaur can smell demigod, and his coat also smells of demigod, or half-blood his mum calls it. After buying time and letting Percy run away, Percy ends up looking back and seeing that his mum is getting attacked by the Minotaur after the Minotaur crushes his mum with his hands. He gets angry and takes on the Minotaur himself, which he ends up winning. He wakes up in camp next, and that's where this episode ends. But where one episode ends, a whole entire story begins. So there are two things in this movie, after I wrap that up, that I really like about this, and really why I absolutely love what's going on here. Number one, great storytelling. And I'll tell you why this is great storytelling. It's because Percy is absolutely human. As he is a human, he goes through stuff as we do, and he has to learn to get through it. He's emotional. He's not a blank state demigod. He has troubles. He struggles. There are situations that he goes through, and you can feel that pain as situations occur, and and sadness and happiness at different times, and anger. You really get all those types of expressions right out of this first episode, which I think is absolutely brilliant. And the relationship he has with his mum, even though it's short, it really does build up, throughout that whole beginning part about how much, him and his mum get along with each other. They get along so well. So when you see that bond break at the end of the episode, because of what happens, and then she gets destroyed or killed by the Minotaur, you go, oh no, and then you can see the anger in his eyes as he's like, right, now I've got to take on this Minotaur because I'm angry that the Minotaur killed my mum. And then also following that, which is number two, is the fact that Percy is the audience through this entire episode. As he learns and as we have questions, he asks the questions that we, the audience ourselves, would want to know about. So as Grover is explaining things to Percy, Percy is us as the audience, because we are learning everything that he learns as this story progresses, which is an excellent way of storytelling. So those two major things is Percy's human, he has struggles, he goes through life, and the second thing is Percy is also the audience. So as he learns about being a god and as he learns all this stuff, as he progresses through the story, we learn it along with him. We start understanding exactly what this world is, what the premise is, why he's got to be in camp, and why is this camp protected, and all that kind of stuff. And you start learning as the episodes go by, but on this first episode, there is a lot of lore that has to be pushed down on us, so we understand the setting as much as we possibly can, and that really launches us into liking it, because we know what the director's going to do through this, because he's going to make Percy human. We're going to be able to understand and relate to this character, and again, the Percy is our audience, so straight out the bat we know that this is going to be a good series. So yeah, so that's pretty much it. So overall, I'm going to give this a Jump Inside recommendation, and I'm going to say if you enjoy it, go watch it. I love it. I've been watching it, and I think it's excellent. If you want to check it out, you can check it out on Disney Plus, which is where I watch it from. So there you go. I'm not quite sure if it's on any other platform, but I think it's excellent. So go check it out because I think it's cool. And I absolutely love the whole premise of Percy Jackson. I watched the original Lightning Thief, and this is Percy Jackson and the Olympians, which is great also. So there you go. Anyway, I will see you on another Jump Inside video. If you did enjoy, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.